Hey guys, I hope everyone's doing well. It's been a little while since I've talked to everybody. I'm sorry that this is coming out a couple days later than usual, but I did have Google educator training on Monday and Tuesday. So um, we are going to get into a new topic. You guys, if you're on PACE, you would be working on the new Civil War art project. So we're going to be discussing that in some detail today. So if you are confused and wondering, where should I be? Where am I? What am I supposed to be doing? The picture at the bottom is a glimpse of what you should be doing in your U.S. history class. This is for someone who's been here the whole year. If you're someone who's come a couple weeks into school year or just recently, you should be doing what I mentioned to you in a note in the progress page of your summit page. So you do not have to do everything if you are somebody that came later in the year. But to date, you guys should have completed roughly 5 focus areas, and we are starting our 4th project. So the American History Mythbusters project was the first one. That should be done. The Constitutional Convention project was a relatively short one, so that should be one of your fastest ones to do. The U.S. expansion essay, and then we are just about to start the Civil War. I'm sure some of you probably will have this reaction whenever you get your second quarter progress reports. It's okay. It's halfway through the year. Some of you are going to be disappointed with the grades that you've received so far. But the good thing is there's a lot of time and you have the ability to make some changes and raise that grade by the end of the year. So I'm going to offer some free advice now. What I think that would benefit everybody is if you are someone who has not yet turned in the first or second project or the third one, hold off on those and go back to them later. Just work with the class. Keep on pace with these launch videos. Start from scratch today with the new Civil War project and work on checkpoint 1 this week. That way you can feel like you're on pace, getting my feedback, and then we will have to, at some point before the end of the year, make sure that you have the time to go back and do those old projects. But you might as well take advantage of the help while it's here. So why don't you just forget about those? They're already past due and start working on the current one instead of those past due ones. So you guys should be at a kind of a fork in the road at this halfway point, and it's up to you to decide if you are going to go to the left for success or to the right for failure. All you have to do is make the decision to commit to turning in your best work, reaching out for help, and trying to grow as a student. So make sure you are asking for help. You are not in this alone, and that is the common misconception of cyber school, is that you're entirely by yourself. You are not. You have a lot of people who want to see you do well. So make sure you are taking it upon yourself to reach out for help. And that's part of being a self-directed learner, is knowing whenever you have kind of maxed out and you're just completely lost and you do need to rely on someone else. It's having the ability to ask. So send me a hangout, an email, call me. There's my direct extension. You can get right to my desk. We could schedule a Zoom virtual meeting if you would prefer to work kind of face-to-face virtually. And also I recommend attending Learning Labs. So those are Mondays and Thursdays from 1 to 3, and it's a good opportunity to come and get some help. Attendance, obviously we should know by now that to be considered perfect attendance, you are doing the weekly launches and submitting work on 5 days a week or ending the week on pace. If you are only completing the instructional launches, you're only being marked present on Mondays. So you would probably have started to receive some attendance letters at this point. So make sure you're doing more than these launches. This is not the course. This is just to help you with the course. You are going to be starting your Civil War art project. So just to kind of give a background of what the whole project is, throughout the checkpoints, you're going to be focusing on answering several questions. The main questions being, why did slavery exist in America? How did compromise between the North and South fail? How did America attempt to rebuild? And were those efforts successful? And then also, why is it important to study the Civil War today? We live in a time that is very, very tense, and we are a divided nation. We're divided sometimes between races, age, sexes, but also political beliefs. And I think that's probably where we're the most divided right now is, Democrats and Republicans being pretty far. So it's important to study the Civil War and learn from our past rather than go down the same path and make these mistakes again. So I hope you guys learn a lot from this project. What you're going to be doing, which is different from the past, is each one, it's not an essay, it's just writing a paragraph. So every checkpoint is a paragraph. And a paragraph, as you know, is 4 to 6 sentences. And then when you are finished with your paragraph, you're also going to be designing a piece of art that represents your paragraphs. So it's kind of a cool way for you to kind of start being creative and do something other than just writing. For the first checkpoint, when you go into the project, you will see your screen look like this. You want to make sure when you're going into these checkpoints that you are actually viewing the resources. So if you don't click view all, you are missing out on the opportunity to get those resources. So you want to make sure that you're actually clicking that view all, and then you would see this screen, these resources open up. So checkpoint 1 is writing a brief paragraph in response to one of the checkpoint questions in the document. And you're going to create an art piece that represents your paragraph. So these are the resources that are going to help you formulate that paragraph. Once you open up checkpoint 1, the document will look like this. So you're going to be picking one of these essential questions. And you also want to make sure you like bold this or highlight so that you are telling me exactly what question you're trying to answer. You're going to be writing one paragraph that has a clear topic sentence that answers this question. You're going to have at least 2 pieces of evidence, and again, it puts it here. It's quotes from the historical sources, which are over to the right side of the page, and you're going to introduce and present your quotes effectively, and then you want to, again, explain how each quote proves your topic sentence is true. So this is what our 4th project now. You guys are getting better. I see progress with everyone. You're getting better at finding the evidence and presenting the evidence in a way that it is proving your claim to be true. So then in addition to your paragraph, you're going to create an art piece that demonstrates the ideas in your paragraph. So this gives you some examples of what yours can be. You can do a drawing, a poem, a song, a comic, a fictional writing, a collage of images, and any other idea you have, just please run it by me before you devote too much time to it. Okay, and again, we still have some people that are not properly submitting assignments in the summit. So if you are using the share button, as this kitten is telling you, that is not the right way to do it. You want to make sure you're using the request feedback button in the bottom. That is the way that we get it actually submitted into the platform. Before I go on to that, I do want to quickly just go into the summit just to show you again, when you click into a checkpoint, I want you guys to start paying attention to when you scroll the whole way to the bottom. This right here is called a rubric, okay? And some of you, I'm sure, do not even pay attention to this because you think it's just for the teacher's use. And that's not true. You're given this for a reason. The other day when we discussed how the projects are no longer only turning green or red, that they can turn yellow. And when they turn yellow, that means that you have cognitive skills that are not quite to your grade level. So if a 3 is what an 8th grader needs to be at grade level, this is outlining for you exactly what you need to do in order to make sure that you have a 3 for that skill. So make sure that after you type your paragraph, you want to go through and ask yourself, did I present relevant information from experiences or sources through accurate summary, or did I paraphrase at appropriate places within the text? If you think you did, that's great, and then you should be good with getting a 3. If you'd like to aim higher, I always recommend shooting for a 4. That way, if you're not quite there yet, you still fall in grade level at a 3. So again, I recommend looking at this 4 category right here and just do everything that's listed in that. So you should be using the rubric to help you raise that score because it's telling you exactly what to do. You can also access the cognitive skills by looking right here. If you click cognitive skills, this is what you will eventually be graded on in the final product. So for explanation of evidence, this, you could go down here and see it as well. So it's just kind of in a different format that's kind of easier to see. So again, make sure you're using those rubrics because they are important. We are having a second Summit Learning Lab on Wednesday, February 7th from 1 to 3 at CPDLF. You can also plan to attend virtually. If you would like to join in with the Zoom meeting like we did last time, just let myself or Mrs. Roop know and we'll make sure we get you that link. And the theme for this time is a plan of attack. So the correct way and one of the proven successful ways to make sure that you are working in the right order in the platform. So if you've never been to one of our Summit Learning Labs or any other learning lab, this is probably how I would compare it. If you've never shown up for a learning lab, you have no idea if we do the Macarena, so why don't you come and find out. For week 22nd, or week 22, excuse me, from January 24th to January 30th, I recommend just getting on pace with the rest of the group and go back and do everything else later. So start fresh, work on the early 1800s in the South focus area. If you have finished, work on the abolishing slavery focus area. The reason for this is because these are the two focus areas that actually have to do with the South and slavery that you can then apply what you learn to your Civil War art project. So I'd also like to see you working to submit checkpoint 1 of the Civil War art project this week. Okay, and your reflection question for this week is, where can you find the rubric and how can it help you earn your best grade? So if you weren't paying attention a few slides back, go back in the video. I do explain what the rubric is and how it can help you earn your best grade. All right, if you need anything, please reach out. It's getting to the point in the year that we really, really need you to start trying a little bit harder if you're someone that has not been trying their best. So it's up to you, but we're all here to help.